Chiron, Moonstone, dog. I know it's a schnauzer, but I've never seen a Chiron that labeled the person's the profession as dog.
You know what? Exactly. In case we were confused. But you know what? A schnauzer should get its own Chiron.
Moonstone, dog.
That dog is cute.
Also, Moonstone, come on.
It's a silly name.
No, it's not even silly. Like, in what universe?
Doesn't fit the dog.
No.
Like Moonstone's one of those. Some of those dogs that look like the Dr. Seuss dogs.
Yeah.
Like
Moonstone is a cat's name.
It kind of is.
And you would
you're
call
a witch.
it. And you would call it. Yeah. It would be a witch.
Yes.
It would be a witch cat.
Like Spencer, the cat, could be named Moonstone.
Yes.
Because my friend Rachel's very witchy.
I don't even think that's no. Moonstone is extremely aloof. Spencer is way too vocal, as we established. Spencer will never be on our show again, y'all.
You never know. They're still doing
Never.
the construction and with that building in the front, so I might have to.
This is Seeking Brother Husband.
New show alert! Whoop whoop whoop!
This is y'all are listening on the free feed because you get to try
yeah.
before you buy,
We're giving you just a tip,
or
just popping it in.
no,
not
you just
not getting to that.
reach it in.
We're not getting to that second hole yet, or whatever. It's
Wow.
called.
Okay. We don't want to. That was a lot for me. Y'all, Carl's wife just asked.
Carl's it. There's a second hole, Carl.
Okay, you just gave away one of the like really intense things about gay sex. And our
Or
listeners,
butt sex.
Yeah, our listeners that's true. Our listeners are going to need to process that. Wow. That really waylaid
You
me.
know what? Just Google it. You can find out what that is. Don't do it at work.
No. Even your computer at home might go, you nasty.
Just goes black and go, you nasty bitch. Nasty.
Just like, oh, this is where we're going.
Okay.
Y'all, this is another one of my dirty, shitty polygamy shows, and I could not be more happy about it.
I'm excited to do it.
I have some thoughts.
We should say this is on the free feed. We didn't finish it, just a tip. Y'all, this is going on in the $8 tier Reality Gaze Plus.
Cringe tier.
So the cringe tier, because this is cringe. You can listen to that on Patreon or on Supercast. Also, we want to remind people, if you want to listen to our regular free feed show commercial free, you can get those all on the $8 tier, as well as the Love After Lock franchise.
Ad free for your pleasure.
Yes. Sorry. Someone asked the other day, it's like, wait, where's what? And I realized we don't do a good job of telling people what's on our stuff.
Oh, well, actually, you could go to our Patreon page and it tells you everything.
We don't even tell people what's on about. So we just need to be a little better.
We're just trying to get people complain about our announcements.
Well, I don't give a shit.
You're right.
If you don't like our announcements, then just press that 30-second button, because some people don't know. Because I know you've been here for 2 years or 3 years, and you're an OG sissy, and we love you for it. We appreciate it. But guess what? Loretta just showed up a month ago, and she doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, she just Googled second hole.
Think about Loretta, y'all. Think #think for Loretta.
Shall we talk about this? First of all, I want to get. You know how I deal with. I'm obsessed with anything having to do with, especially FLDS polygamy and polygamy in general. I'm fascinated by the idea of sister wives and sister wife culture, polygamy culture, and especially Seeking Sister Wife, which this show, I believe it's the same production company. It would almost have to be.
Everything looks kind of the same.
Yes.
And it almost sometimes feels like You, Me, and My Ex. Like, I'm like, am I watching the same show?
And I have something to say about that, too. I think the people who produced this think that this is the gender-flopped version of that show, of Seeking Sister Wife, so it'll be just as successful. I'm here to say that it is completely different. It's a completely different show. Because that it is, you cannot just flip the genders and have all the same kind of dynamics work. So that's number one, what I want to say.
Okay.
I also found this show, and this is not putting a damper on it. I found this show kind of hard to watch.
Oh, we need to turn on timing.
Yeah. I'm going to pontificate a lot.
Why? What? Why hard to watch? Because normally I'm the one where, especially when the women and there's one man, those often can be hard for me to watch.
It's different, and let me say first off, because with Seeking Sister Wife, there's sometimes this like religious, like just nuttery where you need to have as many kids as possible.
Yeah.
Like the Garrick, the Mayfields, and then there's this weird. Just sometimes the men in these shows are just the worst kind of garbage, and you can laugh at them. And also the women have a strange kinship and friendship, and there's a support among the women to watch. And you can almost, and if you look close enough, you would see these women would totally destroy this guy in a heartbeat if they thought about it. If they actually thought they could do it.
Kind of like on Sister Wives.
Yes, it's the same kind of idea. And this show... This show doesn't feel like the men even like one another. There is no support. They can barely look at one another.
Well, and it's, I mean, one could argue, I mean, what is the one, I don't know all their names yet, but
there's only three.
Well, you know, Vinson,
Dustin, and Kim.
They say, we don't really see it, but they said they developed a friendship and became good friends as guys.
I think it was more. I got strong bisexual vibes in that whole couple.
Yeah, we're all going to, let's be honest, this is reality gays. We're going to think a lot of these people there's going to be some secret scenes.
I'm telling you, there's strong bisexual vibes
But
there.
also, though, I think there is also the idea, you know, it's kind of in the zeitgeist right now because Jane Fonda's talking a lot about it on her press interviews for her films right now, of just the difference of how important it is for women to have friendships in older age. And she talks about the difference of women and male relationships. And yes, it's based on a binary, so take it for what it is. But there is still, like, these people are at least gendered man, woman.
Yeah.
And straight men don't talk and seek support the way women do.
Amen.
And so I agree with you that I'm sure it feels weird in that, like, they don't have these conversations. They don't.
There's no sense of community.
They don't, because in the United States, if you're a man of almost any race, you're told to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, slap yourself on the ass, and go.
I agree. I also think it has to do with the three women who we have, or at least two, Elisa and Kenya being complete assholes.
I mean,
they're obnoxious assholes.
It's interesting that watching this show didn't bother me at all. I totally enjoyed it.
Nothing really bothered me. I'm saying it is such a different dynamic. If you're a fan of Seeking Sister Wife and you go, this looks perfect for me, it's a different show. That's what I kind of went to it thinking it's going to be the same craziness as Seeking Sister Wife, because it's not. We will never see one of these people snort like Danielle of the Davises. No one will. Danielle wearing that, Danielle who was 24, who is definitely not 24. We will never see that kind of there's a level of awkwardness that show had that was just captured at the perfect time. This show isn't that. Here's my theory about this show. This show is about polyamory, and it's not about polyandry. This show is not about women who are having brother husbands. This is about people who want to have open relationships.
It felt like polyamory.
Yeah.
Just because we know, just because it's a little more accepted in the queer community, or a lot more accepted in the queer community. I mean, I know people close to my life that have polyamorous relationships, and it felt like the way they talked felt like the way that my friends talk about their relationships.
Yeah, but the thing here is they would sell it as a woman who has multiple husbands, multiple partners, and assume that the men would not be having other partners, because that's more polyamory. Polyandry is when it's much more where the woman is the hub. And I think they were trying to sell that to either the network or the audience.
The only one that kind of feels that way is the polyandry is Elisa and Mike.
No, that's not true. She just wants to get dicked down by a dick that's not his.
Yes, I know, yeah. But I mean, Mike doesn't seem like Mike wants to have a relationship with anyone else.
Mike, I'm worried I would take all the firearms out of the house. Because Mike is really worn thin. I think this is all for clout for them. I think she's a selfish asshole. And this woman, she cheated. Sorry, she did.
Cheated.
Before they in a relationship. He forgave her, but it's almost like she's seeing what else she can do to him. And that shit about, can I fuck somebody in the guest bedroom? That's bad. Can I say, even polyamorous couples, there are rules like you don't do that.
There are rules. But
Yeah.
there is this kind of, there can be, I don't mean as a defense, I just mean that there is some people that are just, they're kind of like, they don't want, it's very hard for them to, I mean, I guess maybe it is assholery, but I know some friends in these relationships where they're kind of like, hey, well, okay, you're not uncomfortable with that, but this is my boundary and this is what I'm comfortable with, so why should I compromise this? And so it does feel like Elisa is very unwilling to compromise.
Yeah.
She's kind of like, I want what I want, this is my boundary, and then when he says his boundary, she kind of gives him a little bit of like, okay, well, that's weird.
I don't care about your boundary.
No, not more. I don't care, but more kind of judging like that's weird.
Yeah. We can talk about them because they're first.
They are first. I enjoyed watching it because it felt I didn't have this idea of people kind of, I think she's a little cuckoo, but I kind of like Kenya.
Oh, I think
it's also that moonstone, though, y'all. I'm going to love somebody with a schnauzer, let's be honest.
I think she thinks it's funny to order around her men. And I just think she's a giant asshole.
I don't know. I like that. We'll talk about the dynamic, but I kind of like the dynamic of it. But let's start with Elisa and Mike. Where are they again? I forgot.
First.
No, where do they live?
Oh, they're in L.A.
Yes, Los Angeles.
Y'all, they've been married 4 years. They met at a music festival. She's a social media manager, and he's a mechanical engineer.
What music festival do you think they met at?
The country one.
Oh, you think the country one?
Yeah.
Stagecoach.
It was for her. It was kind of going way in her comfort zone, and it was way out of his comfort zone.
Speaking of country, y'all, happy birthday to Reba McEntire, fellow Oklahoman.
However, as she says, partner 2 is on the way, and Mike's over here looking like his soul has just been ironed and hung out to dry. See. To me,
he is not into this.
This show has a level of cringe that I don't like watching.
See, and I think I do.
Yeah.
But I just got off MILF Manor.
Because you had a problem with Seeking Sister Wife.
Because I didn't love it because it just bothered me to see. I guess I'm not really bothered by men taking advantage of women. And
yeah. You're bothered by,
or I'm not bothered by women taking advantage of men. I'm not saying that's right.
I'm saying I don't necessarily have a moral stance either way. I think these people are being. I think Elisa is being just a huge asshole and not caring. Here's the difference. Yeah. Here's the other thing I want to point out. For Seeking Sister Wife, there's a larger goal usually. There's almost either there's a religious goal or there's
they just want to get dick down.
Exactly. Yeah. The women just want more dick. And it's I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but Seeking Sister Wife gives us at least the illusion of a higher purpose and that we're all in a family together. So that's the difference, I think.
Makes me wish they would do a reality show where like there's one bottom on an island of just total strictly tops. Give the bottom the power finally.
Now that's when you need a day off.
Although that really wouldn't work out because the bottom would just let all the tops fuck them.
Yeah.
This is why
no
these
shows work for gay people.
Like Love is Blind. A lot of these shows don't work for gay people because in Love is Blind, all the gay people would just fuck in the house.
Yeah.
At least the men.
Everyone would just like forget their date appointments.
Now, I do think, exactly. I do think the
pods would be empty.
Pods would be empty.
Who needs to talk?
And the butts would be full.
Mm-hmm.
But, so yes, they've been married for 4 years.
She met a guy line dancing. That's why I thought it might be country.
Oh, yeah. I wrote, who still line dances?
People do.
I'm not judging people, but, I mean...
It's a big thing. Like, even in California, people do it.
Still do it?
I've been line dancing.
I know our friends Chrissy and Susan used to line dance, but that was like 10 years ago.
People do it.
Did you ever go down to Billy Bob's and do it?
No. Oh. I was more doing other things at gay bars.
No. I only went like twice. My dad used to go to Billy Bob's all the time. Remember? Because he took his second wife, Brenda, and he flipped her, and he dropped her on her head. So next time he got her a helmet for when they went dancing.
I didn't know that story, but I'm glad I do. So she cheated on him while they dated. As she says, not because she was unhappy, but she found a deep connection. So I'm trying to figure out what this conversation was like. Because it's one thing to reconcile cheating with something that says, I was looking for something else that wasn't you, which is basically what she tells him. And that's quite hard to hear, I would imagine. And
but she's framing it as, it's not about looking for something that's not you. I'm just looking for something in addition to you. That's how she frames it.
Yeah, I still think that's hard to hear.
I think it would be hard to hear.
But I'm saying I don't know how you hear I'm looking for something in addition to you without simply saying I'm looking for something that's not you.
It's very hard for people to hear.
So, he says there's still jealousy, fear, and anxiety. Later on, Mom's helping her pick out photos for her dating app. This is when
Mom, this picture you took of me looks bad for my second husband.
This is when I went, this is all fraudacity. This is garbage.
I'm all about parents being supportive, but it is the mom's just fine with it.
That's why it seems, and even Mom says, why do you need to get with another guy? Why can't you be satisfied with Mike? Because he's a good guy. It was like a PA told her to say that. Yeah. That's why I think this story is fake.
Okay.
Yeah. I think she's a social media manager. I think she's trying to get clout.
I bet you it's probably harder to find people that...
Oh, very much so.
Well, because it's easier to find the other way around because you can find people that have religious context.
You can find religious nutbags. Yeah.
Whereas here, unless we meet another couple, none of these look like these come from a religious perspective.
We do meet one more couple after this, but we don't know.
Looks very interesting.
Y'all, the one other couple, we've got one of those. One guy has a face that looks like it shrunk down, and there's a lot of face. There's a lot of head, but not a lot of face.
It looks like a Charlie Brown peanut.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it in the preview, I was like, "Oh God!"
And
it's a low head to face ratio.
And the woman they're with has a lot of interesting eye makeup choices.
She does. Yeah. That's the thing. You don't get I don't think you get a big as of a
kind of a net for casting.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
It's hard, I think.
So mom says he's a good guy, and she says, I want to find someone who's the opposite of Mike. And she's like, well, I just worry for you. I worry for my baby. Dad was, of course, shocked. And Mike's mom is, of course, very upset.
Very.
And all I can think of is, of course she is.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. It sounds crass, but, well, this is our show. Y'all, Mike has an adequate dick.
It's adequate.
It's adequate. Y'all, Elisa's a dick pig.
She needs to get the thing about it is,
big old honking schlong.
The worst thing here is that you can tell Mike is totally ridiculously in love with her. And
he is, but it does feel like he's kind of on autopilot on this.
I totally agree, but I think that's because this is something he definitely doesn't want to do, and he's extremely hurt by it. And he really can't. Now, if I was Elisa, I would say, you know what? I think I made a mistake. It might be time to get divorced to this person because this person is obviously not into a lifestyle I want to be into.
But he's got to own his words and say that. He's not saying it.
I agree. But Elisa, I'm saying Elisa knows he feels that way. And she doesn't really care.
Either she doesn't care or she's a little... Oops, I knocked a coaster. A little too self-involved to notice.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
So, he is worried about seeing her physically with someone.
Yes.
What did you think? Did you see the wallpaper in this house?
No.
Oh, it was like there were certain parts like light up wallpaper.
Light up wallpaper?
Yeah, like a wall that was like lit up.
No.
Oh, you must not have been looking at the screen. It was figured in highly in one scene.
No.
Because they were talking about the dating profile, and she shows him the dating profile.
It wouldn't bother me to see someone, I don't think, I mean, maybe a little bit. It wouldn't bother me, like, physically seeing someone I'm dating with someone. Well, I wouldn't love it, but it would be the emotional thing that would bug me. Because he said he doesn't want to see her with someone. Could you see your boyfriend and your daddy dicking down somebody else?
I would see them, and then they'd never be seen again.
I'd say, by the fact that I just saw the whites of your eyes, that answer is no. He's not good with that.
They would meet an unfortunate end, and then only the alligators would know.
Wow.
The alligators would sing in the evenings.
You more than probably anyone I know, you're not cut out to be a polygamist.
I am not. That's why I'm obsessed with it.
They're polyamorous. That's what
I'm really not. I think I could do an open relationship, but I don't want to know about it. That's kind of that would be my role. I don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
I would do an Ashley. And if I ever got one sniff of it, it'd be done. That would be, I think I could not know and be fine with it. Because I'm going to be I'm going to be getting all the dick I want. Okay. So she was basically.
I have a question for you, though, because this brings up a lot. What if you're with your partner and he says, you know, y'all been together for like 5 years, for a while, 3, let's be honest, let's talk about Poodle. Y'all been together 7 months, so a really long time for you, like eons.
Oof.
And he says, hey, I really like to be sometimes I just really want to be a good old sub-bottom and just get like, just raw dogged and just have a top like own me. I would like to do that with someone else.
And I say, that's cool. I'm already doing someone else too.
But seriously, though, if he wanted to be because that's not necessarily toppings, not necessarily our forte.
I would totally allow that.
Because I think if someone told me that, like, hey.
I would totally allow that.
You know, because topping's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
I don't want to do it.
I could do it, but I'm not great at it.
You'd be angry at it.
Like,
You're like, are you happy yet?
Just looking at my watch the whole time. Are you coming?
Is this enough, honey? no more. And you're like, God.
My back hurts.
It's like a dog who wants their back scratched. That's how I feel like they never want to stop getting their back scratched. They just keep coming over there again.
I think I would totally allow it.
I think that I would be like, I get it.
Yeah. I think this is different.
That's very different.
This feels like she can't wait to stick it to him by saying, "Can we look at my profile? Look here. It says, if you can't go deep, this isn't going to work."
Nice pun there.
This to me seems like she enjoys cuckolding him. I just really don't like this person.
Poor Mike. Mike and mom's gonna come and it's not gonna be good.
And basically, so she says he's going to a bachelor party, and she's like, "So what do you think about rules?" And he's like, "Well, our bed is our bed." She's like, "Well, good thing we had that second bedroom, because I want someone to lay pipe in me." There. He's like, "Can we not do that?" "Well, what you have a problem with that for?"
Yeah, she does. Like, why? What's the big deal? And he's like, "Well, right now I feel comfortable. Let's just not."
And maybe go. I will say, leave your house. Only make out calls. I would agree. Make an out call, not an in call.
I just don't want to be like. I don't want to be in there like playing Wordle while my husband gets dicked down in the other bedroom.
But the thing is, and they're just beginning this journey. That's why it feels fraudacity to me. I feel like this whole storyline is fake.
I will say this. If you are interested in doing any type of open relationship, polyamorous relationship, go to couples therapy.
Yeah.
And
that's a good idea.
And sometimes even certain therapists can specialize in this, especially now that everything's remote, BetterHelp, whatever you want to use. Do that. Because you need a guide for this.
Ultimate communication.
You can't do this on your own.
I would probably not suggest what Kenya, Carl, and Tiger.
I kind of love watching this.
Okay.
I kind of love her.
Expand upon.
Because I just think I just feel like I felt like if clowns or gymnasts started twirling in the middle of the room, I'd go, well, that makes sense because this is already a circus.
It is at least funny.
Oh,
it's
I love
funnier.
it.
I find that the men feel really unhappy here.
The older one, Carl, y'all, she's Carl's wives 2.0. I can't tell if he's just unhappy or
checked
just
out.
Because he just seems like, yeah, whatever you want.
He's totally checked out.
But almost like, have they been married so long? He's just like, yeah, I don't care.
I have a theory about this couple. I did a little research.
It is interesting with this couple and the next couple.
Or this next trio.
Or the next trio, yeah. How the newest people in the relationship are the ones that have the problem with someone else coming in, as if they thought that because I'm new and shiny, like...
Oh, honey, it's always that way in polygamy. Until with the newest person has to learn the rules, and the other two people or one person is like this. It's like this.
It just feels like you have no care or concern of what the first husband had to go through.
Absolutely not. It's always that way. I don't know. You know what it is? It's less like that way in polygamy with women, where the women are usually like, I'm looking for a friend. I'm looking for not someone to help me build a family. We share these things. That's what's missing from this to me. And that's why it feels not just laughable, but it feels like, what are these men getting? That's what I'm asking. Because with polygamy, with women, with men being, you're getting a family. And you get sometimes it's a religious reasons. Sometimes it is about it's this sense of camaraderie that you get. I don't feel that in any of these trios, or couples. I feel like these men could care if the other really lives or dies.
It feels, except for the last one, a little bit. It seems like there's care, but yeah,
I think they.
Dustin's cute.
I think they've done her together.
I think he's cute.
Oh, I think he is. He's so crunchy, Asheville. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So Kenya, Carl, and Miss Tiger.
Miss Tiger and Moonstone.
and y'all, they're in Houston.
They're in Houston, as my dad would say.
I will refer to him as Miss Tiger throughout.
She's sassy.
She's sassy.
She's a sassy.
She might have a bit of sugar in her tank.
Her eyes change color, too. So
Carl, her partner, Kenya's partner, they actually, this is what I did the research on. They own, as she says, we are entrepreneurs together, and we have written several books together. Guess what they're about?
Polygamy?
Polyamory.
Or polyamory.
So they're doing this show to help their book sales and help their...
Well, totally. Yeah, you could tell that she's out there to send a message.
Yeah.
She's everything in her house is too.
Yeah, she's a saleswoman.
Beautiful. Her makeup's always done. Her eyeshadow always matches the color of her outfits. She is, which I'm not necessarily a fan of. Although the yellow outfit, the gold in her interview looks gorgeous. But she just already presents as someone who, you can tell she probably, if you talk to her, she's like, I feel like my work's changing the world.
Oh, yes. And it feels just a little scammy at the same time.
There's a little bit
everything,
of that.
It feels like she is selling something.
Yeah.
Y'all, so Carl, they've been together 26 years. Miss Tiger's been with her for 10 years.
10 years.
And Tiger says, I'm an investor. I watch the stock market.
That's what he does.
Just all day long.
I mean, maybe, I guess he works in asset management. That thing like that would be more.
That's not what he said.
No, he just said he's an investor.
I watch the stock market.
He probably is in crypto.
No, not even that. I think this is a fake title.
Oh, you do?
I think he's kept.
Is he? Which that would make sense why he's so upset.
It's interesting. I'm inferring so much out of watching these people, and I feel like I'm giving you your.
I don't even think about it.
Yeah, I don't think he says I watch the stock market. It just the answer and the delivery.
No, I made a note. I was like, okay,
yeah,
what is that?
And I wrote down, this already feels shady and scammy.
Carl do? I forgot. It does.
They're both entrepreneurs.
It does feel does feel a little scammy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So, y'all, they're fixing the carpet.
Like, I will say, let me just follow this, because I didn't unfollow because they follow me. I muted someone who I really like him as a person, but I just kept seeing his Instagram, and they would go, what do you do? It's so unclear to me what you do, but you're traveling the world and living everywhere.
That's all Instagram.
I know, but he's like telling people. It was very confusing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. I've unfollowed so many people like that.
It's not that I'm not happy they're not living that life and they're able to live in Bali or fucking Portugal or wherever they want to live.
Gay?
But, yeah.
I think there is a certain amount of gay men who just receive money from the government somehow.
Oh.
And they are just...
We filled out the wrong grant.
I know.
The Pickle Finder grant.
Their grant is just to travel and put nice things on Instagram.
Created by Eleanor Roosevelt.
That was the fund.
Yes.
Eleanor's fund for queers.
My mother went up to her knitting excursion up in northern New York, and they went to her house, and they sat on her porch and knitted just like Eleanor Roosevelt did. And my mother said it was one of the greatest afternoons of her life.
Wow. What would your mother do if she said she was probably a lesbian?
No, I told my mom, I said she probably knitted with a woman up on there and had a little, little.
She scissored with Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, she had a little. And
that was a plane trip once.
And Mom said, "Well, who could blame her?"
It's a good answer. So I love Eleanor Roosevelt. Read books about her as a 15.
Did you see the
like every normal American boy?
Did you see that there's a TikTok of a girl or woman whose her daughter went to Eleanor Roosevelt for like President's Day or
went as Eleanor Roosevelt
for President's Day or something like that, and then afterwards she was just filming her daughter. Refused to take the costume off for like 2 weeks, and it had to be referred to as "Milady," and just spoke to everybody as Eleanor Roosevelt. Her daughter's like 5, and I went, "That's a poodle."
That cuts deep. You know what? If I could have done that, I would have. My mother would have stopped at the first day. I'm not calling you "Milady." Eat your meatloaf, Jaybird. It's going to get that in that wig.
She would have.
So, she's had 3 kids with Carl. They are legally married, and they have talked to the kids and explained to the kids everything, she says. In their 12th year, we decided... The thing about this is because it feels like they're almost quoting from their book that they wrote.
Yeah, I get that.
So that's why it feels a little like she's a pontificating asshole to me.
No, yeah,
so
I get it.
I think it takes the joy out of it for me a little bit.
Oh, see, I am 100% here to see her troll Miss Tiger. I don't know why, but I love it. And like, I feel like if I saw Kenya, we'd grab a drink and have a kiki. Like, did you even notice when she said, "We've got to go to bed," and she leans over and just picks up a glass of full champagne and downs it?
I totally agree.
Goals.
I think she's fun on the show. I just think there's something when Seeking Sister Wife was bad, you felt you were nervous for the people there.
I was just about to say, your problem is you're worried about the people's happiness.
I am.
I let that go in this.
Yeah.
I think because I was already coming from MILF Manor and Extreme Sisters. Like, y'all, that's gone for me when I watch this. I was just like, whee!
Yeah, I'm still living in my own personal platoon.
But I get that. That's the way I felt about the women. I was worried about their happiness when they were with one guy.
Yeah. But weirdly, a lot of them are completely happy.
Yeah.
And so I'm worried about their happiness because they don't seem happy.
They don't. They don't.
So, and there's just a different cross section on Seeking Sister Wife. You had a lot more different kinds of people.
Well, Carl's in it. He says, you just have to let women be free and let women express themselves. And you see Kenya kind of put her head on him. She's like, "Aw." And she says, hey, I am super multifaceted. And Tiger fits some of those facets. And then Carl fits some of those facets. And she's like, that's why I like to have multiple partnerships.
So it sounds like they're going to try to take on more. And Miss Tiger is not in it.
I kind of
She's just going to put on her silk robe and stomp out of the room.
No.
I'm going to go bite my pillow.
Been there. This is where I am. Kind of like, who was it? Was it Elisa's or someone's dad that they talked to, the mom and the dad? Was it Elisa's dad?
Elisa, yeah.
Where he said, he was like, it's not that I'm against it, but it's just so much work. I just don't, y'all. Maybe just because I'm out of a relationship and that was so much work, but one is so much work. I have no desire to put in my emotional energy to someone else. That's actually when the part of me, I'm just going to say it because I don't think these are weird, but just conditioning. There's a part of me that wants to go, "Ooh, this is weird. This is, I don't believe that, but there's still that knee-jerk response. Mm-hmm. And what that knee-jerk response happens to me is, and I say that for y'all, some of y'all listening to this, that because I think
a lot of people watch it because it's a freak show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I watch this and I'm like, okay, yeah, great. You want to have sex with other people. That all makes sense to me. But why do you want to care about somebody else's feelings?
That's why I'm saying I think that's missing from this show. That's what I'm saying is missing.
We'll see because we haven't seen them meet the other guys.
Right.
We don't know yet.
I don't think Kenya does a really good job of validating anyone's feelings in her
like you said, I think Carl is fine to just go and sit in his room.
There's no way Carl doesn't have something on the outside. There is no way.
Maybe he's asexual. Maybe he's just like, I don't care.
Maybe. That's true. If I was a betting man, though, just in the way, and they're all in this kind of polyamory / swingers lifestyle, he's got something on the outside.
Or if you were a betting woman.
True. But I do believe that they are into polyamory, and they kind of modified their life, the approach of this, to be on this show. Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like.
Well, they've told all their kids about it. Their kids are fine with it. I forgot. Does she have Does she have Tigs? Does she have kids with Miss Tiger?
No.
I don't think
only
so.
with
Only
Carl.
Carl.
So Carl basically says,
Sorry, it's just so much.
Tiger says it's a benefit to have another person to trust. But even though he says that, there's no real interaction between the two men.
No.
And but he said, and think about with polyamory or polyandry, there's no cheating, no lying, blah, blah, blah. And she's always dating. So, because she says, I love to date.
Blech.
And but she does say she wants a less time-consuming relationship.
Oh, she does say that.
And this is what Elisa kind of wants, too. So, and I have no problem with people trying to get theirs. That's not polyandry. That's what I'm saying.
No.
That's open relationships.
It's not even polyamory. It's an open relationship.
That's what I'm thinking. I think they severely missed the mark here when they cast this show.
It's still fun. I'm still enjoying it. You get hung up on narrative things. I'm like, circus. Like I just want like 4 men to just come in Kenya's apartment and she just picks them out in a shirtless lineup and says, you, and then the ones that don't get picked fall through a trap door.
I would love that. You know what? That would be less stakes and I'd be fine with it.
But it is a missell.
Yeah. So anyway, y'all, Miss Tiger is very upset.
I'm
she's gonna pout.
You. So here's the deal. You're right. Carl's like, since Miss Tiger arrived, Carl's never slept in the bed with Kenya. It's only been Miss Tiger. That's it, y'all. Carl is there because there's a good retirement.
There is something so sketchy about them. Now, I do say they are the most enjoyable trio for me. I'm mostly just by me trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And
you know what? I just thought of time. We should take a commercial.
Take a break. Thank
you.
We'll
be right back.
The sex frequency is down, Miss Tiger. What are we going to do about that? And basically, we have that, as Carl says, this was my favorite quote. Tiger and Kenya are the primary sexual unit. Who talks that way?
It's so unemotional.
Yeah, that's one of my problems about this show. Is that...
But you're going to have men that are going to be less inclined to be emotional.
Yeah, but that's still a problem for me.
No, I'm not saying that as an excuse. I'm saying that like it's a hard thing to overcome in these type of shows.
Yeah. So she's like, well, when Kenya wants intimacy with me and I want intimacy with her, we share that. I doubt that. You had your kids. She found new dick. She's looking for new dick.
Yeah, looking for dick.
And y'all, Kenya wants the third bedroom to herself, and that's why Miss Tiger is very upset about it. And he says, I want a wedding. And this is, again...
We'll have an old-fashioned...
It's quite old-fashioned.
Wedding.
Now, thing about it is, this would be not legally lawful because she is already married.
She calls both of them her husbands.
Yes.
Now, Miss Tiger's parents really aren't on board with this. But Kenya talks about, like, we've been married 10 years. She says we've helped raise... Did she say each other's children? So maybe he has children from his past. She helped raise them. So she said, I'm a contributing member. And she does have a point where she says, what's the point of a wedding if it's not to bring families together and to make a public show of it? Like, why? Because Miss Tiger is saying she wants a commitment to her.
Yeah.
Of Kenya letting him know that he is committed or that she's committed to him.
It is completely based on fear.
Yeah.
And that's why, and I joke about Seeking Sister Wife, how it was just a complete clown car. It was just so crazy. But there was a lot of feelings there. And I cried when the Davises got married on that last episode.
Wow. I
cried to see the pregnant woman walking down with that belly chain, and they were all touching that baby, and it was all their baby. And when they were all laying in their communal bed, I loved it too. Now that show was cringe, but in a different way. There's a winky cringe that show has. This show doesn't have it. It's really interesting. I'm a cringe connoisseur.
Well, you better like it. You're the one that made me do it.
I did. Yo, let's move on.
I hope it's not like Extreme Sisters.
Did I make you do Extreme Sisters?
No, I made you do that.
Yeah. You're still going to pay a penance for that in the next life. Let's go to Asheville, North Carolina, y'all, with Kim, Dustin, and Vinson. I kept writing Vincent, but then I had to... I changed it.
My dad's best friend, Roy Vinson, so that's what made me think of.
But as a first name?
Well, maybe they used it. Maybe it was a last name, and they gave it to him as a first name.
I see.
He spoke at my dad's funeral.
I thought
did a great job.
French, like Vincennes.
Oh no, Vinson.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, those of you who do not know, some people said this is strange for North Carolina, and I said not for Asheville. It is a very health conscious area, lots of spas, very crunchy granola hippies.
Dustin is a massage therapist.
Yes. Dustin is your quintessential guy who does not wear deodorant.
And guarantee you, he's made out with guys. 100%. And not even really, I'm not saying he's bisexual or gender fluid, but there's a energy. From
both men, I get bisexual vibes. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know what I get from Vincent, but from Dustin, definitely like a...
Yeah. Kim seems... How do I put this?
Her background's interesting.
Kim seems like someone who's always looking for the next shiny object, and someone who is a seeker, and someone who is a lot to handle in relationships.
Interesting you saw her that way. That's almost kind of how I see Elise. Someone who always is looking for the next shiny, or Lisa, the next shiny object. But
Elisa's much more of an asshole than Kim is.
Yeah, Kim doesn't seem like, but for Kim, I agree with the seeker part. For me, I saw someone who keeps trying to run away from bad memories, pain.
Also, religious upbringing.
But like, yes, almost like I'm going to keep running away from that.
Show me trauma. Ding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what this is.
But the seeking thing for sure. For sure.
So she was his teacher. Or she's a teacher, and he's a massage therapist.
But she was his teacher.
Yeah.
She didn't date him at the time. They have she has three sons. I guess she had two older ones, and they have a 7-year-old together because she's been married before.
Cohen.
None of that matters.
Zen Cohen.
Zen Cohen. Who's that? Is he
a Cohen? Is a
Cohen brothers?
Cohen is a Koan. Is a Zen aphorism. It's a little thing like a Zen Koan. It's like a saying that was attributed sometimes to Zen in Zen Buddhism.
And his name, so you think he's named after that?
Oh, 100%. Also, Matisse, named after...
I guess the artist?
No, the drag queen.
There could be a drag queen named
Matisse.
There
should be. And Julian, which that seems a little more normal.
None of that matters because chicken duck is terrifying. That is the most terrifying chicken I've ever seen duck I've ever seen in my life. It's a duck with a chicken face. It's got this red, like, wobble, wobble, the little
I
thing.
knew you were going to talk about
that
this.
That duck will kill people. Did you see the hate in its eyes when it looked at that kid? Get away.
I don't think birds are out to murder us.
Well, you haven't been around the scary kind of birds.
So, y'all, she's been married before.
That made me uncomfortable.
In a very traditional Christian household.
Yes.
Her ex was a preacher's kid. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
There. Some of you have married preacher's kids, or your exes are preacher's kids. You know.
Have you ever fucked a preacher's kid?
Yes.
It was a little too quick.
They've got baggage.
Was he good?
No. Sometimes they can come back from it, but there is baggage. You must deal with it.
I know like 4 or 5, they weren't preacher's kids, but 4 or 5 of my Mormon friends that were gay all went and did gay porn.
It's a rite of passage.
But they did. It's like they had to go so far afield, and then they came back.
Where'd they wind up?
They're all like, it's interesting. Instead of like flaming out and kind of getting on meth or drugs or whatever and shit like that and kind of going what you would think, the Mormon upbringing and the idea of family and the idea of trying to like bring something to society, pardon me, kind of brings them back.
What are they?
3 of them are married and have kids now.
With men?
Yes.
Okay. So they needed their kind of like gay porn Rumspringa, if you will, in an Amish sense.
Funny how you made that even gayer than gay porn.
Rumspringa.
I know, but just the way you say it. Rumspringa.
A gay porn Rumspringa, if you will. Yes.
Cut to our gay historian, an 87-year-old, just filthy gay man from New York, whose name is Tansy Fairchild.
Yeah. Then Poodle coined the term gay porn Rumspringa.
It remained in the lexicon for decades.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And till the last record of it is when a sissy named Clementine said it in 2055. Anyway, so she basically says that the falling out of this marriage changed with his family and her family, rocked her faith, and they blamed Dustin for this.
Yes.
Yeah, and so when he says our sexuality, our spirituality, it's all linked to the same kind of place. You know, they all get in the menagerie. I really do believe.
This one feels...
Yeah.
This
is the most authentic.
But again, it's not polyandry or polyandry. It feels more polyamory.
I agree. I think this has the potential, if they can kind of get to get Vincent on the same page. This feels the most like Seeking Sister Wife. Is the way these are 2 people who support. Because I think Dustin says, I want a friend.
Because
a friend I can bang my wife with.
Well,
and he says Vincent was our guinea pig. Not a great way to refer to him, but they met through friends. Vincent has gone through 2 failed marriages. He said she saw the shame in me, and she saw and accepted me.
Yes, and their kids hang out together. Yeah. They didn't expect all that. Vincent did not expect all that to happen. He's agreed where Dustin became a good friend to him.
So there's almost a blended family aspect here. And so she keeps saying, this completely goes against everything I've been taught as a Christian, kink. So this is, to me, this is the most interesting story of the season so far. And again, they've definitely London bridged her. So,
wow.
London Bridge is falling down, my fair.
Hello.
High five up top.
Whoa.
So,
by the way, I'm late to this. I don't know if you do you watch UK Drag Race?
I have not. I've started this season.
This season 4 of UK Drag Race, I think, is one of the best episodes of Drag Race or seasons of Drag Race I've ever seen.
UK is to me always
it feels like a season of all stars.
Wow,
they're all so talented. They're all so funny. I'm like, I just finished the Snatch Game was okay, but the ones that were good were phenomenal.
Yeah,
but
sometimes they get really British with their Snatch Games, and you're like, who the fuck?
There's a couple I was like, huh? But they do the musical called Larry Poppins. Was one of the best. I think the best musical I've ever seen.
I need to. Is it on the?
It's on Wow Presents Plus. I gave you my login. You can use it.
I know it's a gay tax. I don't like it.
You're gay. Support gay taxes.
What they will make gay people pay, y'all. I got to get a gay grant so I can just travel around Instagram.
Call out Eleanor Roosevelt's estate.
Some gay who listens to this like, oh my God, could I get that grant?
Where are we?
First stop Ibiza. So Dustin says, I thought it would be her, doing things apart from us. But our families meshed together, and I'm so happy to have a best friend that I could confide in. So I believe him. I believe Vinson, and I believe her.
I believe.
Thank you. And what was the weird thing here is it seems like she wants to find other people, and that's what Vinson was completely turned off by. Right? It wasn't clear.
Well, and so Vincent says he doesn't really like people. He doesn't really. And I went, then you're the wrong type of relationship, honey.
Also, Vincent has one of the most sexy voiceover voices that I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's very, very calm.
Love it. Yes.
But
he's very hot.
Because they want Vincent to move in with them.
Yeah.
And Vincent's like, Because he knows he'll be sleeping in bed at night by himself. And he feels a hand on his back. And he goes, Kim? Oh, Dustin again.
Oh, let me see whose balls are smoother. Oh, it's Dustin's.
Oh, no, they're not. They're just...
You're right. They're scratchy.
Oh, no, they're full on just...
Bush.
Amazon. Yeah, he's all natural.
Yeah. And it's musty down there.
Blech!
So, y'all, I need to say the traditional let's talk more about polyamory dinner is taco soup.
With just a big old pint of sour cream. Not even in a bowl.
They won't shut up about the fucking taco soup either. And Vinson basically says, I'm not comfortable with more people in this dynamic. And they're like, we've missed our friends and family. And the girls miss coming over to play with Cohen. And Vinson says, I don't know where I fit in this dynamic. Because, see, this is compelling to me. Because it's people trying to make a family and they don't know how to do it.
But it is interesting, though. But I'm new to this. But I'm kind of like, what did you fucking think? Like, you were the special one, and now that she just wants to do what she did before, and suddenly now this is all weird to you.
You know what? That is a specifically kind of male thing. Where the guy's like, I thought it was just me. I thought it was just me. And the women kind of understand, honey, it's going to be a long string of other women.
Yeah. I want to say, sit down, Vincent. You're not that special.
I totally agree with you.
None of the men.
That's a really good point, that the men are always shocked that the women wants another guy past the other two.
Yes.
Yeah. Male hubris. So Vincent says, I want to be with Kim, and I want Dennis, I want D involved, Dustin involved, but not others. He only wants his London Bridge.
What if he's in love with Dustin too, and he just wants to keep that together?
There are strong vibes here. Yeah, I will say this: I'm invested in two of these stories. Elisa can go fuck herself. She just wants dick. I am very excited to see the other couple. Y'all, there are only 6 episodes in this little mini series.
Yeah. They're testing it out.
I have a feeling I know why after watching this first episode. it's definitely not Seeking Sister Wife, because SSW will never be equaled, in my opinion.
And there we have it. Well, we'll see. We're here for the ride. So if you enjoyed this and you want to hear us talk more about it, you can join a Reality Gaze Plus at the $8 tier. And we'll be right there talking about, you bet your ass, Vinson fucking Tommy and Tommy fucking Larry.
And Moonstone just watching, everybody.
Yeah. It will.
Moonstone just watching Kenya peg Miss Tiger.
Sometimes, Sophie, I'd look down and she was just up there looking at me. Like, what have you done? I felt shamed. All right. Well, I understood why she looked up. I was barking. All right, everybody. That's your Seeking Brother husband, your SBH.
Yes.
There you go, everybody.
We don't have a sign off for this.
We don't, because we just started. You can go to realitygaze.com. That's where you can find all of our social media, all of our how to join our Reality Gaze Plus if you're interested in that, either on Patreon or on Supercast. And that's it.
I think it should be something like...
Glad we're thinking of this now within the end of the show. Probably should have talked about this before. This was your show. Why didn't you think of the sign-off?
I got... until next time. There's nothing like that new dick smell.
I'll suck to that.